There is a God in man and in nature. He who sits in the dark, the bringer of light. This beauty, the sign of an open eye. Namaste, namaskaram. Primordial Gnosis is knowledge. Knowledge is wisdom. There are three kinds of humans. Human beings that are composed. Well, let me restate that. Human beings are composed of a body, a soul, and a spirit. Differentiate between these three aspects. So all human beings are composed of those component parts: body, soul, and spirit. Now, there are three kinds of humans, depending on which aspect rules them, which aspect of that Trinity informs them, which they focus their energies through. Where energy goes, where thought goes, rather, where attention goes, their energy flows. So we have three different kinds of humans according to which aspect that human is most influenced by: the body, the soul, or the spirit. Since ancient times, humans have been categorized by Gnostics in that fashion, in terms of the physical, the psychic, and the spiritual. These categories were also used by Saint Peter. The Cathars, for example, also divided humans into three different types: the terrestrials, dialectics if ruled by the body, psychic if ruled by the soul, and spiritual, pneumatic if ruled by the spirit. In one of the Gnostic works found in Nag Hammadi, called the Tripartite Tractate, we find the same differentiation of man into the material, psychic, and spiritual. Julius Evola, in his book on Tantric Yoga, the Yoga of Power, based on ancient Indian traditions, classifies men into three types, having the same characteristics as we mentioned earlier: the Pasu, the Vira, and the Divya. And the Pasu means animal, refers to the man animal in which the body and its instincts dominate. Vira is the warrior who is striving to wake up. This is someone who is somewhat confused, but fights to free themselves from this material world and fulfill their spirit. And finally, we have the Divya, the third type of human, whose spirit has already been liberated, and that spirit rules absolutely. And the perfect human, the transcendent human, the sovereign human is found in the last group. That human who has opened their conduit to spirit. Satan, the oppressor. Satan is an oppressor of this world. He's the egregore that was carefully concocted by many, many dynamics in this world. Man in his normal state is lost in confusion, however, sleepy, not knowing who he is, where he came from, or where he is going. He does not know what he should be doing and is in a state of confusion. I would say most people are confused. They're poor souls that are just kind of manipulated and exploited, as if in a mist or half asleep. That's how most people are. We're talking about the creator of the world. We said that for Gnostics, the creator, the demiurge, the creator of matter, this material universe, can be likened to Satan. That is the demiurge, Satan, since matter, the Gnostics believe matter is satanic, the digital matrix and all that it preys upon. All creation is satanic. And the creator is a satanic being. This creator oppresses man. Since the creation of man, he has forced him to carry out his orders and obey his precepts and commands. This creator wants to be obeyed by man, admired, feared, and adored by him by means of sacrifices and ritual. He wants to impose his oppressive rules on man. He wants man to obey him and renounce his own wishes, which are very often the desires of his spirit, of man's spiritual self, that, although ignored by man, is carried within him. The creator, according to Gnosis, has a plan for his creation, which is why he created the universe and placed man in it. He has a plan he wants to press ahead with, and he needs man in order to do this. However, he needs man to act in agreement with his orders, those of the creator, and not according to the desires of the spirit. The demiurge does not allow the spirit, shackled within the soul of man, to manifest itself. He wants man to act through his soul and not his spirit. Yes, there is a differentiation. We will learn. You will learn. For this reason, it is necessary to oppress man, frighten and worry him. He is a God who oppresses his creatures completely. I introduce to you Lucifer, the liberator. Gnostic myths relate that Lucifer is the messenger of the unknowable God, of prime creator of the divine grid programmer. We had said that this God, the greatest one, unreachable and unknowable, is unable to penetrate this limited universe of impure and satanic matter. But according to these myths, he can send someone, and that someone is Lucifer, which simply means the light bringer. Jesus Christ was a light bringer. Jesus Christ is Lucifer. Only with a supreme sacrifice can an incredibly spiritual and pure being of antimatter fire break through into the infernal world of this universe. According to Gnostic legends and myths, the great unknowable God, prime creator, the divine grid programmer, sent Lucifer, angel of indescribable fire and light, to show man the light and help him wake up and see his true origin, the origin of his spirit, which has been perversely imprisoned in this impure matter called body, soul. He is an uncreated being who came to the created world to bring light, liberating Gnosis, the saving knowledge, which can, yes, I like to pronounce knowledge exactly as Basamazulu Babakredu Mutwa. The saving knowledge which can wake man up and help him free his imprisoned spirit. The knowledge which allows him to know who he truly is, why he is here in this world, and what he has to do to liberate himself and fulfill his spirit, which belongs to another uncreated and unknowable plane. We have said that Lucifer came to the world to wake man up, to help him remember his divine origin, the divine origin of his spirit, and to help him free himself from the body soul in which he is trapped, and from created time and matter. Gnostics consider that the biblical myth of creation can be explained as follows. The creator Satan of the world trapped Adam and Eve in his miserable world, and Lucifer, in the form of a serpent, offered them the forbidden fruit of saving Gnosis and showed them that the creator was deceiving them. In other words, the creator said to man, "But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it you shall surely die." On the other hand, the serpent said, "You will not surely die, for God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be open and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." The Bible continued, and the eyes of both of them were open. It doesn't say they both died. It says the eyes of both of them were open, like the serpent had said. Later, the creator says, "And now man has become as one of us to know good and evil." The creator lied. Yahweh lied. He said that man would die if he ate the fruit, but man did not die. The serpent was telling the truth. The creator himself ended up agreeing that the serpent was right. More precisely, Gnostics called the demiurge a liar as well as a plagiarizer. For them, the entire creation is a failed attempt by the demiurge to imitate the unknowable world. In this way, they think that the Bible itself is a complete plagiarism based principally on pre-biblical Babylonian and Egyptian texts. Gnostics believe that this serpent Lucifer is the liberator of man and the world. It is wisdom, the liberating Gnosis that wakes man up and saves him. Of course, this messenger of the unknowable God, Lucifer, is an opponent and an enemy of the creator of the world. Gnosis states that the creator wants to keep man captive in this limited, inferior, and impure sphere. He also forbade man contact with the higher world, represented in the biblical myth by the fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. But Lucifer, the angel of light, made a great sacrifice and descended into this satanic hell to give the forbidden fruit of Gnosis to man and open his eyes so that he would be able to remember his divine origin and his superiority in relation to the creator. Gnostics consider that before the arrival of the serpent in paradise, man was in a state of ignorance and was blind to his true situation. They maintain that Adam and Eve were in a state of servitude until the serpent Lucifer opened their eyes and fed them the fruit of knowledge, which made them remember their divine origin and become aware of the situation in which they found themselves. Of course, the Creator threw Adam and Eve out of this paradise in which he had placed them, since he wanted them, and still does, to reflect him and be similar to him after his image and resemblance, and to carry out his precepts, so as to be like him and not like the unknowable God. He wants the spirit to stay asleep so he can take advantage of its energy, preventing it from manifesting itself in man and the world. Lucifer, liberator of man and the world, has also been called Abaddon, the exterminator. But exterminator of what? How about exterminator of matter? Because he abhors this created world of matter and time. He would behave like a hostile antimatter force, extremely aggressive, because he hates all that has been created, as he also hates the body and soul of man, since he belongs to the uncreated plane of the unknowable. He is an exterminator, but an exterminator of matter, of the impure. Such is the Gnostic legend of Lucifer. Now we can go on to describe what uncreated entities exist in this created world. Firstly, the unknowable God, who is not in this world, but who can infiltrate it with a tiny particle of himself, a messenger. This messenger is also uncreated, not having been created by the Creator. Secondly, the imprisoned spirits of men, which also belong to the unknowable, world of the uncreated and the eternal. According to Gnosis, all living beings have an uncreated spiritual element enchained in their souls, the spirit. The spirit locked within man is totally superior to that of animals, plants, and other living beings. The difference between man and the other living beings is very great, and is the difference between the spirits imprisoned inside of them. The spirits of human beings are in an elevated spiritual category. Thirdly, another uncreated entity placed on this created plane is the saving and divine knowledge of Gnosis, knowledge that has come from outside, which has not been produced inside of this world. Fifth is the meaning of the word Gnosis, knowledge. But we are not just referring to any knowledge, a special knowledge. That is what you're in for. That's what you get along in your course materials when you hit that subscribe button and attend class here at the Umbanda New Earth Education, where we bring light to imprisoned spirits trapped within the souls of this demiurge satanic world. And it only gets crazier as the days go by. So it would behoove you to hit that subscribe button.
Namaste, namaskaram.